Have you ever felt a quiet unease, a subtle hollowness that lingers even after indulging in a moment of intense pleasure? Perhaps it's a fleeting whisper of dissatisfaction, an echo in the quiet aftermath where true contentment should reside. In our relentless pursuit of happiness, we often reach for instant gratification, believing these quick fixes will fill a void or soothe a restless spirit. But what if the very things we grasp for are subtly, almost imperceptibly, eroding the bedrock of our inner peace? We live in a world that constantly bombards us with stimuli, a never-ending buffet of fleeting delights promising ultimate satisfaction. Yet, for many, this relentless chase leads not to lasting joy, but to an unfulfilled yearning, a sense of being perpetually just out of reach from genuine tranquility. This isn't about judgment, it's about a profound question. Are we truly finding freedom in these moments, or are we perhaps unwittingly becoming more enslaved to our immediate desires? Consider the common habit of self-pleasure, an act often discussed in hushed tones, surrounded by personal narratives or dismissed as purely private and harmless. Society often frames it as a natural release, a stress reliever, or even a necessary component of well-being. But what if we dared to look deeper, beyond the immediate sensation, through the unblinking, clear-eyed lens of ancient wisdom? What if this seemingly innocuous act, when approached without conscious intention or understanding, subtly undermines the very self-mastery and inner calm that we truly seek? Today, we begin a journey not of condemnation, but of profound discovery. We will explore how an age-old philosophy offers a liberating perspective, one that invites us to examine our habits and reclaim our power, transforming a quiet discomfort into a pathway toward authentic, enduring serenity. For over 2 millennia, the profound and practical philosophy of Stoicism has offered a guiding star for those navigating life's inherent complexities, inviting us to cultivate unwavering inner peace amidst the external world's relentless tides. It's a path not of rigid asceticism or joyless denial, but of profound discernment, teaching us to differentiate between true, lasting contentment and its myriad seductive yet ultimately ephemeral imitations. Today, we're going to apply these timeless Stoic principles to a topic often shrouded in silence and personal narratives: the habit of self-pleasure. Our aim is not to preach or condemn, but to illuminate, to reveal how Stoic wisdom can unveil subtle patterns within us that might be hindering our pursuit of genuine, unshakable tranquility. Many mistakenly believe this habit is purely personal, without broader consequence to their character or peace of mind. But what if understanding it through a Stoic lens, a philosophy dedicated to rational thought, virtue, and self-mastery, could unlock a truly transformative shift within you? Imagine a life where your impulses don't dictate your peace, where you are the conscious architect of your own happiness, unswayed by fleeting urges. This is the promise of Stoicism: to build an unassailable inner citadel, a fortress of strength and serenity within your own mind. By understanding how seemingly small private habits can either fortify or subtly erode this citadel, we gain unparalleled power over our emotional and mental landscapes. If you are someone who yearns for a deeper, more robust sense of inner peace, a mind that stands strong against life's currents, and a path towards genuine happiness that isn't dependent on external circumstances, then this conversation is for you. And if you find this exploration resonant and wish to continue strengthening your mind and finding peace, I invite you to join our growing community of seekers. Be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel now. By doing so, you'll ensure you don't miss our upcoming videos, each one designed to offer practical Stoic wisdom that will help your mind become stronger, more peaceful, and truly happy. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery, guided by the timeless wisdom that has empowered countless souls throughout history. In our hyper-connected, endlessly stimulating modern world, we are caught in a relentless current, constantly swept along by messages that equate pleasure with happiness. This isn't just a marketing ploy, it's a deeply ingrained cultural narrative. Instant gratification has become the siren song of our age, a relentless chorus promising immediate satisfaction for every longing, every discomfort. We are taught from a young age to seek external solutions for internal states. If you're bored, scroll. If you're stressed, buy. If you're lonely, consume. And many of us, without even realizing the profound implications, find ourselves unconsciously caught in this current, surrendering to its deceptive pull. This pervasive mindset extends deeply into our most personal habits, including the act of self-pleasure. Often, this habit is framed and understood within a narrow, singular context. As a natural biological release, a harmless stress reliever, a private act of self-care, or even a pathway to personal exploration. It's frequently discussed with a sense of no harm, no foul, an activity that occurs behind closed doors, seemingly without consequence to one's broader life or inner state. But this is precisely where the timeless wisdom of Stoicism challenges us to pause, to look beyond the immediate, to peer into the subtle ripples this habit might create in the larger pool of our being. From a profound Stoic perspective, we are compelled to ask, is this habit truly serving our highest good, our pursuit of eudaimonia, that flourishing state of human excellence and deep contentment? Or is it instead subtly detracting from it? The Stoics, with their unwavering focus on virtue, reason, and self-mastery, would encourage us to examine whether this seemingly innocuous act is, in fact, an escape. Is it a carefully constructed distraction from deeper, more uncomfortable truths about ourselves or our lives? Is it a quiet drain on our vital energy, diverting resources that could be better spent on genuine growth and purpose? Or most importantly, is it a subtle, perhaps even unconscious, surrender to impulses that, over time, hinder our true potential for unshakable inner peace and profound self-governance? The true challenge lies in recognizing if this habit, so often considered private and inconsequential, is acting as a subtle form of avoidance. Are we using it to numb feelings of loneliness, anxiety, boredom, or frustration rather than confronting and processing them through reason and virtue? When we lean on a physical sensation to escape mental discomfort, we are not building resilience. We are instead reinforcing a pattern of reliance on external stimuli for internal regulation. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. The more we seek external fixes for internal states, the less adept we become at managing those states from within, thereby weakening our inner citadel, that fortress of character and reason the Stoics tirelessly urged us to build. Furthermore, this habit, when unchecked by conscious intent, can subtly undermine our self-mastery. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes not from indulging every desire, but from discerning which desires serve our rational nature and which merely enslave us to fleeting sensations. When we repeatedly yield to an impulse, especially one driven purely by physical gratification, are we truly exercising our faculty of choice, our prohairesis, our moral will? Or are we allowing a deeply ingrained pattern to dictate our actions, thereby diminishing our autonomy? Each unexamined surrender, each unresisted impulse, subtly erodes our capacity for rational choice and strengthens the invisible chains of habit, pulling us further away from being the conscious, intentional architects of our own lives. The problem, then, isn't the act itself in isolation, but its potential to become a symptom of a deeper struggle for self-control, a quiet adversary to the very principles that promise true freedom and lasting tranquility. Unveiling the Stoic perspective: 5 pillars of self-mastery. The Stoic philosophy offers not a set of rigid rules, but a powerful framework for understanding ourselves and the world. When we apply its core tenets to deeply personal habits, we begin to see beyond the superficial and uncover profound truths about our motivations and their ultimate impact on our inner peace. This section delves into 5 critical Stoic principles that illuminate how seemingly private actions can profoundly shape our character, our tranquility, and our very freedom. We'll explore how discerning true needs from mere desires, understanding our circle of control, fortifying our inner virtue, redirecting our powerful desires, and embracing discipline can lead us away from fleeting pleasure and towards a truly flourishing life. Is it a true need or a perceived one? Stoicism, at its heart, is a philosophy of discerning truth from illusion, of separating what truly benefits us from what merely seduces us with fleeting sensations. One of its most fundamental teachings, championed by figures like Epictetus and Seneca, is the crucial distinction between true needs and perceived needs or desires. Consider for a moment the fundamental requirements for human survival and genuine well-being: food, water, shelter, rest, meaningful connection, and the exercise of our rational faculty. These are true needs. Their absence leads to genuine suffering or diminished capacity. But then there are countless desires that masquerade as needs in our modern world, amplified by constant stimulation and cultural conditioning. These are often psychological cravings, born not from physiological necessity, but from boredom, stress, anxiety, habit, or the omnipresent call of omnipresent media. When we engage in the habit of self-pleasure, particularly in a frequent or compulsive manner, the Stoic asks us to pause and reflect. Is this truly a fundamental need, akin to nourishing our bodies or resting our minds? Or is it a psychological craving, a fleeting spark ignited by an internal void, a subconscious attempt to fill discomfort or escape from confronting difficult emotions? Epictetus, with his characteristic directness, reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This profound insight challenges us to look beyond the immediate physical sensation and examine the underlying impulse. If we consistently reach for this habit as a default response to boredom, stress, loneliness, or even just unstructured time, are we truly acting from a place of rational choice, or are we being swept along by an unexamined impulse? Every time we surrender to a perceived need that isn't truly fundamental, we subtly reinforce a pattern of dependency. We become accustomed to seeking external stimuli, whether it's a new purchase, endless scrolling, or a physical sensation, to regulate our internal state. This is precisely what the Stoics warned against. They understood that when we constantly outsource our contentment, when we rely on external inputs to soothe our minds or provide satisfaction, we become slaves to our appetites. Our inner peace becomes precarious, constantly vulnerable to the availability of that external stimulus. The Stoic path, conversely, champions internal self-sufficiency. It encourages us to cultivate a robust inner life, one that is not easily disturbed by the absence of external pleasures. Think of it like this: a truly nourished individual doesn't constantly crave sugary treats. Their body is satiated by wholesome food. Similarly, a mind at peace, a soul engaged in meaningful pursuits, doesn't constantly yearn for fleeting escapism. When we consistently give in to perceived needs, especially those tied to immediate physical gratification, we are neglecting the deeper work of self-awareness and self-soothing. We are training our minds to seek comfort in external acts, rather than building the internal resilience to face discomfort head-on. The Stoic ideal is to be free from these chains, to be master of one's own desires, to choose purposefully rather than react instinctively. By discerning whether this habit springs from a true need or merely a perceived one, we take the crucial first step towards reclaiming our autonomy and aligning our actions with genuine, lasting tranquility. This process is not about deprivation, but about liberation. Liberation from the tyranny of unexamined impulses and the freedom to cultivate a deeper, more enduring source of contentment within ourselves. The erosion of self-mastery, dichotomy of control. At the very heart of Stoic philosophy lies the profound and liberating principle known as the dichotomy of control. This foundational concept, eloquently articulated by thinkers like Epictetus, teaches us to meticulously distinguish between what is genuinely within our power and what fundamentally lies outside our power: our thoughts, our judgments, our opinions, our impulses, our reactions. These are unequivocally within our control. The external world, the actions of others, our reputation, our health, the weather, even our own bodies in terms of disease or decay, these are largely outside our control. The Stoics argue that the vast majority of human suffering arises from desperately trying to control what is not controllable, or neglecting to master what is. Now, consider the habit of self-pleasure through this critical lens. When we repeatedly yield to an impulse, especially one driven purely by physical sensation and the immediate desire for gratification, are we truly exercising our most precious human faculty, our self-mastery? Or are we, perhaps unconsciously, allowing an external trigger, an internal craving, or a fleeting sensation to dictate our internal state and subsequent actions? Each surrender, each unexamined indulgence can subtly diminish our capacity for rational choice, weakening the very muscle of our will. Think of it as training. If you repeatedly train a muscle by letting it slacken and yield to the slightest resistance, it will never grow strong. Similarly, if we consistently allow our impulses to override our reason, our capacity for self-control begins to atrophy. The Stoic strives for prohairesis, an autonomous moral will, the ability to choose our responses, to direct our intentions, and to act in accordance with virtue, rather than being swept along by every passing desire or external stimulus. When a habit becomes automatic, a default response to boredom, stress, or even just routine, it suggests that the impulse, rather than our reasoned choice, is in command. The erosion of self-mastery is not about moral failing, it's about a loss of freedom. Seneca famously declared, "He who is brave is free." In the Stoic context, bravery here refers to the courage to confront discomfort, to resist impulses that do not serve our higher purpose, and to choose virtue even when it's the more challenging path. When we consistently give in to the immediate gratification of self-pleasure, particularly if it's used as an escape mechanism, we are subtly reinforcing a subtle form of enslavement. We become enslaved not to another person, but to our own unexamined desires and conditioned responses. We lose the precious freedom of choosing our response, of being fully present with our discomforts and dealing with them rationally, rather than seeking a quick, physical detour. Furthermore, consider the energy expended. Every act, every choice, draws from our reservoir of attention and willpower. If a significant portion of our mental and physical energy is directed towards seeking and experiencing fleeting physical pleasure, what resources are left for truly meaningful pursuits, for cultivating deep relationships, for intellectual growth, for engaging in challenging work, for contributing to the greater good, or simply for sitting in quiet contemplation? The Stoics understood that our attention is our most valuable resource. When it is constantly pulled towards external, transient sensations, we dilute our ability to focus on what truly lies within our control, our character, our judgments, and our purpose. To reclaim self-mastery is to reclaim sovereignty over your own mind and actions. It means consciously choosing how you spend your energy and attention, rather than allowing unexamined impulses to make those decisions for you. It's about strengthening your will so that you can face life's inevitable challenges with fortitude and pursue your highest good with unwavering determination. By bringing this habit under the scrutiny of the dichotomy of control, we are not judging the act itself, but rather evaluating whether it is serving to strengthen or weaken our capacity to be the true captains of our own souls. This is the profound invitation of Stoicism, to awaken to our inherent power and to cultivate the inner strength to live a life of deliberate, rational freedom. The cost to our inner citadel, virtue. Central to the Stoic worldview is the concept of the inner citadel. This powerful metaphor, vividly articulated by Marcus Aurelius, refers to the unassailable fortress of our character, a sanctuary within our own minds that remains untouched by external circumstances, immune to the vicissitudes of fortune, and fortified by the unwavering practice of virtue. This citadel is built brick by brick through our choices, our judgments, and our consistent adherence to the four cardinal Stoic virtues. Wisdom, the knowledge of what is good, bad, and indifferent. Justice, treating others fairly. Courage, facing adversity with fortitude. And temperance, moderation, self-control, and discipline. When we live in accordance with these virtues, our inner citadel grows stronger, making us truly impervious to external disturbances and masters of our own tranquility. Now, let us examine the cost, or potential cost, to this vital inner citadel when considering the habit of self-pleasure. While often viewed as a private, harmless act, we must ask, does this habit, particularly when it becomes a frequent or compulsive pattern, consistently contribute to the strengthening of our virtues, or does it subtly, almost imperceptibly, erode them? Consider temperance. This virtue is not about deprivation, but about moderation, self-control, and the wise regulation of our desires and impulses. It's about knowing when to say no to immediate gratification in favor of a greater, long-term good. If the habit of self-pleasure is engaged in as a default escape from discomfort, boredom, or stress, rather than confronting those feelings head-on, it can weaken our temperance. Each time we choose fleeting pleasure over confronting an uncomfortable truth or engaging in a more productive, though perhaps less immediately satisfying activity, we are allowing impulse to dictate our actions rather than rational self-control. This isn't about shaming the act, but about critically evaluating its role in building genuine discipline and moderation in our lives. Next, reflect on wisdom. Wisdom for the Stoics is practical knowledge, the ability to discern what is truly good for us, what is truly harmful, and what is indifferent. It involves clear-eyed judgment. When we habitually seek stimulation or escape through self-pleasure, are we truly engaging our faculty of reason? Are we contemplating our highest good, or are we temporarily clouding our judgment with immediate sensation? If this habit serves as a distraction from introspection, from addressing underlying issues, or from engaging with life's challenging realities, then it may be subtly undermining our pursuit of practical wisdom, preventing us from seeing things as they truly are without the veil of momentary gratification. What about courage? Stoic courage is not just physical bravery, it is the fortitude to face fear, discomfort, and uncertainty, to choose the right action even when it's difficult. If self-pleasure becomes a habitual escape from confrontation, from difficult emotions, or from the discomfort of disciplined work, it can inadvertently diminish our capacity for true courage. Instead of developing the resilience to sit with discomfort and resolve it, we develop a pattern of immediate physical relief, which can prevent us from building the emotional toughness necessary to navigate life's inevitable challenges with grace and strength. And finally, consider justice. While seemingly unrelated to a private act, Stoicism often views justice as extending to ourselves. Living truthfully, authentically, and aligning our actions with our deepest values. If we are consistently engaging in a habit that we deep down feel is a distraction, an escape, or a drain on our energy, are we truly being just to our highest potential? Are we living authentically, or are we concealing an inner conflict by perpetually seeking momentary distractions? The true cost to our inner citadel isn't a dramatic collapse, but a quiet, insidious erosion. It's the subtle weakening of our virtuous character, the gradual dulling of our resolve, and the slow but steady undermining of our capacity for rational self-governance. The Stoics would urge us to recognize that every choice, no matter how private, leaves an imprint on our soul. Is this imprint strengthening the walls of your inner citadel, making you more resilient, more virtuous, and more free? Or is it introducing cracks, making you more susceptible to the winds of external circumstances and internal impulses? The path to unshakable peace lies in consciously aligning every action with the virtues, fortifying that inner sanctuary, making it a source of enduring strength and serenity. The misdirection of desire. Our desires are not inherently evil. They are powerful, intrinsic forces within the human psyche. The Stoics, unlike some other philosophical schools, did not advocate for the complete eradication of desire, but rather for its proper understanding and redirection. They understood that unchecked desires can lead to distress, frustration, and a perpetual state of dissatisfaction because external objects of desire are inherently fleeting, uncertain, and ultimately beyond our complete control. When we attach our happiness to things outside ourselves, wealth, fame, pleasure, or the approval of others, we become vulnerable to their inevitable loss or elusiveness. The true aim, therefore, is to align our desires with what is truly good and attainable, virtue, reason, and our inner state. Now, let us turn this powerful lens to the habit of self-pleasure. When we habitually seek physical pleasure for pleasure's sake, as an end in itself, we are often chasing a phantom. This is the misdirection of desire. The immediate gratification provides a brief, intense sensation, but it is, by its very nature, transient. Like a sugar rush, it offers a quick high but often leaves us feeling empty, or even a subtle sense of regret or dissatisfaction in its wake. This is because true, enduring satisfaction cannot be found in external stimuli or fleeting physical experiences. It resides within, cultivated through the practice of virtue and the disciplined pursuit of what is truly good. When our desires are constantly misdirected towards immediate physical gratification, we divert an immense amount of mental, emotional, and even physical energy from more profound and fulfilling pursuits. Imagine a powerful river capable of irrigating vast fields and generating immense power. If that river is constantly diverted into small, shallow channels that lead nowhere, its true potential is wasted. Similarly, our inherent drive, our capacity for desire and passion, can be channeled into pursuits that build us up, that align with our deepest values, and that lead to a truly flourishing life. Or it can be perpetually misdirected towards actions that, while providing momentary relief, ultimately leave us feeling restless, unfulfilled, and perpetually wanting more. Seneca, ever the pragmatist, warns us against being enslaved by our pleasures. Slavery is living according to another's will, not one's own, and what is worse, that other is often the lowest part of oneself. When our desire for immediate physical gratification consistently overrides our rational judgment, our capacity for long-term planning, or our commitment to higher goals, we become slaves to our lower appetites. This isn't about moral judgment, it's about freedom. Freedom here means freedom from the tyranny of unexamined desires, freedom to choose our actions based on reason and virtue, not on impulsive cravings. The misdirection of desire also impacts our ability to cultivate genuine contentment. If our minds are constantly conditioned to seek external stimulation as the primary source of gratification, we become less capable of finding joy in simpler, more enduring aspects of life. The quiet satisfaction of a task well done, the warmth of genuine human connection, the beauty of nature, or the serenity of a mind at peace. This constant seeking creates a perpetual state of disquiet, an insatiable hunger that can never be truly satisfied by external means. The Stoic path offers a profound alternative: to redirect our powerful desires towards what is truly within our control, our character, our judgments, and our actions in alignment with virtue. Instead of desiring fleeting physical sensations, we can desire wisdom, self-control, courage, and justice. This redirection doesn't diminish our capacity for joy, it elevates it, transforming it into a more robust, stable, and fulfilling experience. By consciously recognizing when our desires are misdirected towards the ephemeral, and by intentionally reorienting them towards the virtuous, we reclaim our power, cultivate a deeper sense of peace, and align ourselves with the true source of human flourishing. This is the profound invitation of Stoicism: to channel our life force not into momentary pleasure, but into enduring purpose and genuine serenity. Finding true contentment through discipline. The Stoic path to contentment is fundamentally different from the world's common understanding of happiness. It is not found in the accumulation of external goods, the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, or the avoidance of discomfort. Instead, True unshakable contentment, or eudaimonia, is discovered and cultivated through discipline, through the intentional, consistent practice of living in accordance with reason and virtue. It is about actively shaping our inner world, rather than passively reacting to the external one. This discipline is not about deprivation for its own sake, but about strategic choices that lead to greater freedom, resilience, and a profound sense of inner peace. Consider the habit of self-pleasure through the lens of discipline. If this habit is engaged in without conscious intention, as a default response to boredom, stress, or unexamined urges, it represents a surrender to impulse rather than an exercise of deliberate choice. The Stoic, however, understands that every act of temperance, every time we choose self-control over immediate gratification, strengthens the muscle of our will. It's like training for a marathon. Each skipped sugary drink, each chosen healthy meal, each extra mile run builds physical and mental fortitude. Similarly, each time we consciously choose to redirect our impulses, we are building profound inner strength. This isn't about fostering guilt or shame regarding the habit itself. Instead, it's about empowerment. It's about recognizing that when we consistently yield to certain impulses, we unintentionally diminish our capacity for self-governance. By choosing temperance, by exercising self-control over impulses that may offer momentary relief but ultimately drain our vital energy or distract us from higher pursuits, we free up immense mental and emotional resources. Imagine the clarity of mind, the surge of willpower, and the renewed sense of purpose that becomes available when you are no longer swayed by every passing desire. The discipline that Stoicism advocates is not a punitive one. It is a liberating one. It liberates us from the tyranny of our own appetites. When we consistently choose to exercise control over our desires, we gain an unparalleled sense of internal freedom. We are no longer slaves to our cravings. We become masters of our own actions. This mastery is the foundation of true contentment. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing that your choices are aligned with your highest values, that you are acting from a place of reason, not reaction. Furthermore, disciplined living allows us to channel our inherent drive and energy towards actions that genuinely build us up. Instead of seeking ephemeral satisfaction, we can direct our focus towards meaningful work, cultivating deep and authentic relationships, intellectual pursuits, contributing to our communities, and engaging in reflective practices that foster self-awareness. These are the sources of true, enduring happiness, the kind that doesn't ebb and flow with external circumstances, but springs from a wellspring within. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, constantly reminded himself, constantly reflect on how swiftly all things pass away and are swept out of existence. The substances are a river in constant flow, the activities are a perpetual change, and the causes in 1,000 varieties. This constant reflection encourages us to focus on what is within our control, our discipline, our choices, our character, because everything else is transient. Finding contentment through discipline means recognizing that true joy comes not from external circumstances, but from the intentional cultivation of our inner selves. By choosing the disciplined path, by exercising control over our impulses, we are not denying ourselves pleasure. We are choosing a deeper, more robust, and infinitely more satisfying form of fulfillment. A peace that arises from self-mastery and a life lived in accordance with reason and virtue. This is the profound promise of Stoicism, a path to unshakable serenity built brick by disciplined brick within the fortress of our own minds. Cultivating indifference to external indifference. At the core of Stoic wisdom lies a radical concept, the distinction between things that are truly good or bad and those that are merely indifferent. For the Stoics, the only true good is virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, and the only true bad is vice, the opposite of virtue. Everything else, wealth, poverty, health, illness, pleasure, pain, reputation, obscurity, are considered indifference. They are not inherently good or bad, but become so only by how we choose to use them and react to them. While some indifference are preferred, like health over sickness, they are never essential for our happiness or virtue. Cultivating indifference to external indifference is about recognizing that true contentment does not depend on these external circumstances, but solely on our internal state and choices. Let's apply this powerful concept to the habit of self-pleasure. Physical pleasure, by Stoic definition, is an external indifferent. It is not inherently good or bad. However, our attachment to it, our reliance on it for our sense of well-being or emotional regulation, is precisely where the Stoic concern arises. If we become habituated to seeking this form of pleasure as a primary source of comfort, escape, or satisfaction, we are implicitly elevating an indifferent to the status of a good. We are telling ourselves, unconsciously, that our happiness or peace depends on this external sensation. This is a dangerous misjudgment, for anything external is subject to change, loss, or unavailability, making our peace precarious. The Stoic ideal is to be unperturbed by the presence or absence of indifference. If our peace of mind is contingent on the availability of a specific physical sensation, then we are not truly free. We are, in a subtle way, dependent. The goal is not to eliminate pleasure from life, but to cultivate a robust inner life where the presence or absence of pleasure does not disturb our tranquility. When we find ourselves habitually seeking self-pleasure, especially as a means to avoid discomfort or fill a void, we are demonstrating a lack of indifference to an indifferent. We are showing that we are not yet fully liberated from the desire for external stimuli to dictate our internal state. Consider the energy we expend on desiring, seeking, and anticipating this pleasure. The Stoics would argue that this energy could be redirected. Instead of cultivating a sensitivity to pleasure and its absence, we could cultivate a robust indifference. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or ascetic. It means understanding that our true happiness resides in the exercise of our reason, in acting virtuously, and in accepting what is beyond our control. When we are indifferent to external indifference, we become truly resilient. And the ups and downs of life, including the presence or absence of specific physical sensations, no longer hold sway over our internal calm. Moreover, if the pursuit of this indifferent physical pleasure displaces our pursuit of true goods, virtues, then it becomes problematic. If time spent in this habit could be spent cultivating wisdom, practicing justice towards others, or building courage in the face of discomfort, then we are making a suboptimal choice from a Stoic perspective. The cost is not just the time itself, but the lost opportunity to invest in what truly builds our character and lasting happiness. Cultivating indifference to this particular external indifferent means freeing ourselves from its sway. It means recognizing that whether we engage in it or not, our fundamental worth, our capacity for virtue, and our potential for eudaimonia remain untouched. It's about detaching our peace from this fleeting sensation so that our inner tranquility becomes robust and unshakable, regardless of its presence or absence. This is the profound liberation that Stoicism offers, a life where our contentment is sourced from within, making us truly impervious to the external world's shifting landscapes and empowering us to live with profound freedom and serenity. The moment of reclaiming your sovereignty, a Stoic awakening. We've journeyed through the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, peeling back the layers of habit and impulse and examining them under the brilliant light of reason and virtue. We've explored how seemingly private acts can subtly erode our self-mastery, misdirect our most powerful desires, and even chip away at the very foundations of our inner citadel. Now we arrive at the pivotal moment, the very crux of this profound inquiry. The true climax of this journey isn't a dramatic external event. It's an internal awakening, a profound shift in perspective that empowers you to reclaim what is rightfully yours, your sovereignty over your own mind. The question, then, is not whether the act of self-pleasure is inherently good or bad in a rigid moralistic sense. The deeper, more liberating question, one that Stoicism compels us to confront, is this. Is this habit truly empowering you, or is it merely placating you? Is it building you up, making you more resilient, more focused, more at peace, and more genuinely free? Or is it, instead, a subtle form of escape, a momentary anesthetic that delays the necessary work of true self-mastery and profound contentment? This is the key moment of clarity. For many, this habit has become an unexamined default, a knee-jerk reaction to stress, boredom, or a vague sense of unease. It's often engaged in not out of conscious, rational choice that aligns with one's highest good, but out of a conditioned impulse, a desire for immediate, fleeting relief. And in that unthinking surrender, we unwittingly relinquish a piece of our precious autonomy. We allow our impulses to dictate our actions rather than our reasoned judgment. The Stoic answer, while not prescriptive in a rigid way, is undeniably clear in its guidance. True freedom and lasting contentment are found not in the surrender to every impulse, but in the courageous, deliberate act of choosing reason over immediate gratification. This is where the battle for your inner citadel is fought and won. Not against external enemies, but against the unexamined desires within yourself. When you consciously choose to redirect your energy, your focus, and your attention away from a habit that may be draining your resolve, you are performing an act of immense courage and profound self-love. You are declaring that you are the master of your desires, not their slave. This is not a message of guilt or shame. It is instead a powerful invitation, an invitation to awaken to the immense power that lies within you, an invitation to reclaim your vital energy, which, when misdirected, can leave you feeling perpetually unfulfilled. An invitation to redirect that incredible life force towards pursuits that truly build you up, that align with your deepest values, and that lead to a serene, unshakable inner peace that no fleeting pleasure can ever truly provide. Imagine the strength you gain when you are no longer buffeted by every passing craving. Think of the mental clarity that emerges when your mind is not constantly pulled towards immediate physical sensation. Consider the immense reservoir of energy that becomes available when it is no longer channeled into unexamined habits, but purposefully directed towards meaningful work, deeper relationships, and the cultivation of your highest self. This is the promise of the Stoic awakening. It is the realization that your true power lies not in indulging every desire, but in the disciplined, rational choice to align your actions with your most virtuous self. This is the moment to look inward, to acknowledge the subtle tug of unexamined habits, and to choose a different path. It's the moment to step into your full Stoic sovereignty, to become the true emperor of your own mind, unswayed by the fleeting yet deceptive promises of external pleasure. This choice, made consciously and deliberately, is the bedrock upon which genuine, lasting tranquility is built. Conclusion. We have journeyed together through the profound wisdom of Stoicism, exploring how its ancient principles offer not just a philosophical framework, but a practical guide for navigating the complexities of modern life. We've seen how this timeless philosophy invites us to look beyond superficial appearances and fleeting sensations, to delve into the deeper truths that govern our well-being and inner peace. At its core, Stoicism has taught us to make crucial distinctions between true needs and perceived desires, between what is genuinely within our control and what is not, and between virtue, the only true good, and external indifference. By applying these lenses to even our most private habits, like self-pleasure, we begin to uncover their true impact on our character and our capacity for genuine tranquility. This isn't about rigid rules or judgment, it's about cultivation. The cultivation of a mind that is strong, resilient, and master of itself. We've discovered that true self-mastery is born from the consistent practice of choosing reason over impulse, strengthening our will with each deliberate act. We've recognized how the misdirection of desire towards fleeting pleasures can drain our vital energy, diverting us from pursuits that offer deeper, more enduring satisfaction. And we've understood that the true cost of unexamined habits isn't just time or energy, but a subtle erosion of our inner citadel, that fortress of character and virtue that alone can provide unshakable peace in a chaotic world. This profound exploration has shown us that the path to lasting contentment isn't found in constant gratification, but in intentional living, in the disciplined cultivation of our inner selves. It's about finding joy not in external validation or momentary highs, but in the unwavering alignment of our actions with our highest values. By embracing temperance and self-control, we liberate immense mental and emotional resources, freeing ourselves from the tyranny of unexamined urges and opening ourselves to a richer, more purposeful existence. In essence, Stoicism offers a powerful roadmap to a life lived with greater intention, presence, and profound inner peace. It empowers us to disentangle ourselves from unconscious patterns, to shed the chains of dependency on external stimuli, and to embrace a life where true flourishing is derived from within. This wisdom remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago, offering a beacon of light for anyone seeking to build a stronger mind and a more serene heart. If this conversation has resonated with you, if it has sparked a deeper curiosity about how to truly master your mind and cultivate unshakable peace, then your journey with the Stoic Philosophy channel is just beginning. What we've discussed today is merely one facet of a vast and profound wisdom tradition that has empowered countless individuals throughout history to live lives of purpose, resilience, and genuine happiness. I invite you now to take the next powerful step. Don't let this newfound insight fade. Dive deeper into the wellspring of ancient wisdom that awaits you right here. Explore our other videos on the Stoic Philosophy YouTube channel, where we continually unpack these timeless principles and offer practical tools for applying them to the challenges of modern life. You'll find guidance on mastering emotions, making rational decisions, building stronger relationships, and finding serenity amidst life's inevitable storms. And to ensure you never miss out on future insights on the wisdom that can continue to strengthen your mind and uplift your spirit, make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel right now. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can join our growing community of seekers dedicated to living a more intentional and virtuous life. Thank you for dedicating your valuable time to this exploration, for opening your mind to these ancient truths. It is a testament to your own commitment to growth and well-being. May your days be filled with ever-increasing clarity, profound inner peace, and the enduring strength that comes from true self-mastery. We look forward to continuing this journey with you.